This is my friend MULLY. You probably know him from YouTube. If not, check out his channel. Nobody knows me. Anyway, you contacted me, MULLY. I brought MULLY up to speed a little bit. Don't worry, he's with me. And yeah, but I didn't give him too many personal details. But I'll let him know what's going on. And I wanted to bring him in because I wanted him to help me show how we use small portions to get us through the day. We're busy today. Look, we are busy working at school, and we're going to be busy all day long. But that doesn't mean we stop eating. See, right. Mully's got his stuff over there. He's got his food about every hour, right?
Every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours for you.
Yeah, I have my, if you look there on my phone,
yeah.
I have the alarm set to go off at 8:30. Let's see, where are we at? 8:30, 10:30, 12:30, 1 o'clock to wake me up so I don't miss class. And then 3:15, 6:30, and 3:15, 6:30, and 8:30.
Ooh, so you're on 2 hour intervals.
2 hour intervals.
I'm on 1 hour intervals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing 1 hour, and so
I'm on 2.
Basically between every class.
Okay.
Because we were both teachers, so between every class, and that's my cue. I carry stuff. So what I do, I have a salad for breakfast. Jim has something sensible for breakfast too. I mentioned, right?
Yeah. This morning I had a bowl of oatmeal with some raisins, and that's it.
Okay. Did you put any sugar in there?
No.
No sweetener.
No, I don't do sugar.
You don't do. Neither do I. That's a big. I was expecting Jim to say that because neither of us do. For the most refined sugar, forget it. Right.
I do use cinnamon from time to time, and the cinnamon kind of needs sugar. But
I thought cinnamon was your girlfriend in high school. The dancer.
The pole dancer.
The pole dancer. Yes, cinnamon.
So I do the instead if I'm using cinnamon powder.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're going to need sugar to sweeten it up because it's just cinnamon, right?
Right.
So what I do is I'll put like a teaspoon or two of apple juice into it, and the sugar from the apple juice.
Or apple drink?
Apple drink. It's green.
So that sweetens it up a little bit.
Right.
Just to counter the cinnamon, right?
Right.
So for me, I have no taste buds. So for me, the taste doesn't matter. Sugar is basically out of my diet. I don't even use honey anymore. And I'm just...
Yeah, I will use honey.
I'm a barbarian. I wouldn't recommend going as extreme as me because basically what happens is if you take that sugar in like that, tell them what happens when you bring in sugar into your system.
Well, when you're bringing sugar into your system, most people can regulate it.
Right.
But someone like myself, I have reactive hypoglycemia. So what that is my blood sugar levels will go up, but then they'll crash.
Right.
Because the insulin will start coming out stronger, and it'll drive my blood sugar down.
It's counterbalance, so overreacting, right?
Right.
So you go through a spike and then a crash.
Right. So, and that's when you start getting moody and things like that. And all this was something that came up when I was 30. And hey, I'm a meat and potatoes guy.
It's like asking Hungry Jack to stop getting down on the sirloin steaks.
Yeah. Salad's the enemy for me.
Yeah, right. You don't do greens.
And I like my ho-hos and cupcakes and
but you don't
ice cream.
But you don't eat them much anymore,
no,
right?
No, very little. If I do, very little.
Yeah.
Just because of all of this. But
because you'd rather feel good, right?
Because I'd rather feel good. What happened was, can I tell the story?
Yeah.
You got time on
this?
Sure. Okay. What happened was when I was 30 years old, I was at work one night and my arm went numb and my heart was beating out of my chest. I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Right.
But nothing happened, and I went home and went to sleep. And the next morning when I got up, I felt like I was separated from myself. It was really, really strange feeling. I was having these really massive panic attacks. And this went on for like 2 weeks. And I finally called my mom back in the States. And I just told her what happened.
Yeah.
And I told her what was going on. She said, it sounds like you've got hypoglycemia because she's got it.
Right.
And so I'd been to the doctor. Doctor says, there's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly fine. And there was... Obviously, something was wrong with me because I felt like I was going to die.
Your body was telling you otherwise, right?
Right. And what I found was low blood sugar levels usually will not show up on a regular blood test.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you need to do something to make them react, make the sugar levels react and go down, right?
Right.
Which in my case is the hypoglycemia.
Right.
So I had to take a glucose tolerance test.
Right. So it's a special test for this.
Yeah, which I drank this big thing of just sugar.
Right.
And within 3 hours, my blood sugar levels went up to like 240, and then dropped down to like 60.
What's normal?
100.
100. So you really went up and
right,
down.
and you pass out around 40.
So you were on the verge. You were almost at the level of passing out.
Yeah. What happened was when I was going for my test, my mom said, "Don't worry. While you're taking the test, because it's like a 3 or 4 hour test, and she's like, you'll start getting symptoms." Well, nothing was happening, and that scared me because I was afraid something else was wrong. I was praying that this was it. Right.
You wanted this to be it. It's something you can manage.
Right. So I went home from the hospital, and I was extremely bummed because nothing had happened. When I got home, I drank a glass of water, and as soon as that water got in my stomach, I got the shakes really bad.
Right.
I mean, like, I couldn't even pick up a pencil.
Really?
And you've had hungry shakes before, right?
Yes,
and it's just like that.
Sure.
Because I hadn't eaten for, 14 hours or whatever.
Right.
And so at that point, I called my mom back, and I said, I got the shakes, blah, blah, blah. She says, now go back to the hospital because now your sugar levels
she sent you right back.
Yeah, but I said, I've already been stuck.
Right.
6 times. I'm not going back.
Yeah, Mully don't get stuck more than
That's right.
6 times.
6 is the limit. I draw the line there. And so I got on the internet and I just started researching hypoglycemia and how to take care of it. And it's all diet. And that day, I started on this regimen of eating every few hours, cutting out the sugars, cutting out the carbohydrates, so the simple carbohydrates.
Right. Yeah, that's the key point.
And the complex carbohydrates, keep them to a minimum.
Yeah.
And within 3 days, I was back to normal. I felt better than I had ever felt in my life. Every symptom that I had was gone. And then, as I stuck to the diet, things in my body started improving. Things that I thought were just normal, like sore legs or sore feet or whatever. And then I realized, after a certain amount of time and reading up on it and learning more about it, I realized that, things that had happened to me back in high school were probably related to this.
Right.
Like I used to not be able to get up in the mornings.
Right.
I was just real lethargic. And I always felt great at night, but I felt like shit in the morning.
And the mood swings that you used to have,
And the mood swings, oh my God.
And may I mention on the temper? The temper,
oh, yeah.
anger?
Yeah, my first wife, God bless her, she put up with me. I used to be a monster in the mornings.
Wow.
I mean, I'd wake up in the morning and this is before we knew about the hypoglycemia.
Right.
And she would say to me, "We're not going anywhere until you eat."
Right. So she kind of keyed off of it. She figured it out.
She recognized that I was fine after I ate.
So it was a symptomatic recognition without actually knowing
what it was, right?
The diagnosis.
But after finding out what all this was, it was after I ate, my blood sugar levels were coming up, and I was feeling better. And
right,
because your brain and your eyes only work off of the glucose in your blood, and if you're not getting gasoline to them, it's not going to work.
And the man that you described is a man I've never known because you've had that under control.
Yeah, you've never seen me throw my temper.
I've never seen that. Yeah, you're basically in control. And,
I used to get like where I wouldn't even remember what I said.
Really?
Yeah, I'd get really, really
Did you ever
pissed.
feel depressed?
No, I never felt any depression. I've never been a depressed person.
But you're not like that in general.
Right.
Basically, your attitude in life is, I think that you're predisposed to optimistic.
I would imagine, it's probably like cocaine.
Yeah.
Instant asshole, just add alcohol.
Well, on that, can I add mine to that?
Yeah.
Okay, now the interesting thing is, now Jim has hypoglycemia, but I don't know. I've never been tested for that. I don't know what the case is, but for me, what I want to extrapolate from that is that this can apply to just about anybody, right? I mean, I'm a pretty healthy. I'm an active guy. My weight's relatively under control and things like this, but I was a mess. And this guy, I've known him for 5 years. For the first 2 years, I think you recognized what was going on.
I suspected it.
And you tried to talk to me about this, and like most people, I poo-pooed it. It's kind of like it's almost like somebody knocking on the door and saying, hey, do you know my friend Christ?
Right.
It's like thank you, I'm busy.
Right. Nobody wants to hear it.
Nothing against anyone's religious. It's just that type of a thing, right? You tell me about diet. Now that's part of the reason I'm making this video, because you came to me, my friend, asking me about life and your feelings about life, and here I am talking about food, and you're wondering why the heck am I talking about food?
I'd like to add one more thing.
What's that?
Before you get into that.
Yeah.
I'm really overweight now.
Yeah.
And I was overweight. I was really overweight when I found out about my hypoglycemia. And when I switched to this way of eating, with no exercise or anything, I dropped like 100 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
100 pounds.
And then when my first wife and I separated and I got out on my own, my eating habits just kind of deteriorated, and I put all the weight back on.
It's more a matter of willpower than
Right.
than what you're eating, right?
Right. But at the same time, I kept eating like every couple hours, right? So
right.
I'm not getting the symptoms back, but I'm eating.
As long as I've known you, you've always had your staple supply with you, but you always eat in moderation. I mean, it's it's a little bit here and there. Like I have my cheese right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want to say though is that this applies to everybody. We can all eat. The analogy I came up with last night is it's like drinking for me. Drinking a bottle of soda or eating a donut is like having a chocolate covered hand grenade. It's good going down, but it's going to blow up in your system. Mm-hmm. And first thing it's going to do, it's going to spike your blood. Just what Jim said, it's going to spike your blood sugar. Your body's going to react, and then you're going to find yourself down. And that's why you get those mood swings that come up and down, right? So what I want to do,
we got a thing of nuts here. High protein. People say, "Oh, but nuts are so fat." Well, it's vegetable fat. It's not animal fat. Huge difference. And there's some dried bananas in here.
Excellent. And I've got my cheese, and I'm going to have that in just a moment, because for me it's every hour. I'm very small. This is what I'll eat. Every hour I'll have my salad, I'll have my big glass of water, 16 ounces of fresh water in the morning. I'll have my big salad, and then from there I'll have a natto, fermented soybeans on the hour after that, and then I'll have a bit of cheese, maybe some a piece of fruit, and it's throughout the day. And then my lunch, half my lunch, and my wife packs me a full lunch, but I only eat half of it, and then go back to my other thing, and then about 3 o'clock I finish the lunch, and throughout the day, and whatever my wife makes in the evening. This really, really works for me. Jim can testify. I'm a new man. He used to say I had the dark passenger.
Yeah, he was Dexter.
I was bad. I was really bad, and it's been over a year. I mean, this is no fluke. I mean, the dark passenger has been gone for 14 months.
Well, the human body's not made for 3 meals a day.
Right.
I mean, that's a cold hard fact. The only reason we eat three times a day is because society has told us that's how we should eat.
That's what we need to do. It's a factory worker's diet, right? It's a factory worker's diet where you need to eat, go into the factory, punch in, work for 4 hours, take a lunch break, and come out. The hunter-gatherers ate, they call it the paleo diet, right? The hunter-gatherers ate when they were hungry, and what they could find. Imagine you're walking along, there's some berries. I've done it. I've been out hiking in the woods. You come across a patch of berries, you eat the berries. You get some roots, whatever you're doing, right? So the whole thing for this, and the reason I wanted to make this video, is to try and give you an idea about why am I talking about food for an issue of depression? Why am I talking about nutrition for issues of feeling satisfied in life? Because if you can get this under control, you will be in a state to be able to take on those other issues much better. In fact,
and it may clear up those issues.
I was just going to say the exact same thing. What may happen is other things that seem to be issues may no longer be issues because you simply are in balance and in control.
My advice would be and granted, this may not be a cure-all. You may actually have something else wrong.
Yeah, that's why we say see a doctor, see your MD, and tell them what's going on. Can I just say this one thing?
Yeah.
Here's what I did. What I recommend: if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling or even suicidal, make an appointment with your MD for a physical. Okay, because it's embarrassing to say the truth, right? When you get in there, say to the doc, "Hey doc, I'm not here for a physical. I'm depressed."
Right.
And then he or she will take it from there, right?
Right.
Okay, what were you going to say?
Okay. Well, what I was going to say, I forgot.
Okay, we were talking about if you are depressed and that this may solve the.
I got it.
Sorry, Ricky.
Yeah, no worries.
Sap.
What I would suggest, if you don't want to go to a doctor, get out a pen and piece of paper, sit down at the table, and write down everything that is ailing you right now. Are you suffering depression, shortness of breath, aches and pains anywhere in your body, memory loss, vision problems, cramps, anything? Anything that's ailing you at the moment, write it down. Hit the diet, stick to it religiously for 15 days.
Yeah.
And then look back on your list and compare yourself at day 15 as you were, because you want at least 2 weeks to get everything in order, and you'll probably start seeing changes within 3 or 4 days.
Absolutely, and I want to underline what Mully said about religiously. This is something that if you cheat, you fail.
That's right.
If you have a soda, I mean, he and I have experimented with this. We've gone out and done stuff, and if you cheat a little bit, it's going to take 3 days to get back on shape, right? and you can't like start doing this and then say, well, I'm just going to have a bag of chips today and then a soda tomorrow and expect to feel good just because you're doing 95%.
Right.
It's got to be.
It really is a lifestyle change. It really is. And trust me, coming from someone like me, it's a bitch. It really is.
Yeah, because you like your food.
Yeah, I love my food. I'm Doug Heffernan. I love my sweets. I love my cakes. I love all that stuff. But I have to stay away from it.
Yep, and you will fall down. You will fall down apparently. But watch what happens when you fall down. Watch what happens. You'll feel bad for the next day, and then it'll slowly go away. And then 3 days later, you'll feel good again.
Right.
As long as you stick with it.
But just don't fall down on that first 15 days. Give yourself a clear shot to see exactly what's going on with your body. If you cheat anywhere within those 15 days, your list isn't going to mean anything.
Yeah, you know what I said in an email to him? I said, stick with this. 3 days later, you're going to feel better. 2 weeks later, you may feel excellent. 2 months, wow. 1 year, Superman.
Right, and you may even, and if you stick to it religiously, you may even have a crash out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It can happen. But the thing is, when you hit that crash, is just to remember where you've been and where you've come, and it's going to come back. You know. It's just it's body chemistry.
That's right. So we have over in the Sons of Grizzly. If you're not familiar with whoever sees this, the Sons of Grizzly forum, and I'll put the link down below. You can come over and talk to others who are going through this type of stuff and who are trying to get their act together. Talk to me, and Mully's over there too, or write to us or whatever. Right. I mean, we're there to help out.
And if you've got the discipline, write down everything you're eating. Write down the time that you eat and what you eat, and that way, if you have any kind of relapse, you can look back at your past couple days and say, oh, I had this here, and you can find things, oh, wait a minute, this may have too many carbs in it, or, it's good to keep a little journal just to see what's going on.
Speaking of that kind of stuff, I have my document, me too. I have my document, Kurt's Imperfect Diet. It's a web blog. I'll put a link down below. And what's the book that you read?
That's what I was going to say. The best $10 you could ever spend. Get on Amazon right now and order the Low Blood Sugar Handbook.
There you go.
You do not have to be a sufferer of hyperglycemia to benefit from this. This is for everybody.
That's right. Absolutely it is. So Jim, I think I better stop because it's past our time to have our snack. You already started though. You don't restrain.
No, I don't restrain.
Time for me to eat. But that's it. I'm going to sign off for now and wish you luck. And anybody else that sees this, all the best. Good health and happiness. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See ya. Good luck. Baby. Oh, bye-bye. This is my friend Mully. You probably know him from YouTube. If not, check out his channel. Nobody knows me. Anyway, you contacted me, Mully. I brought Mully up to speed a little bit. Don't worry, he's with me. And but I didn't give him too many personal details. But I'll let him know what's going on. And I wanted to bring him in because I wanted him to help me show how we use small portions to get us through the day. We're busy today. Look, we are busy working at school, and we're going to be busy all day long. But that doesn't mean we stop eating. See,
right.
Mully's got his stuff over there. He's got his food about every hour, right?
Every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours for you.
Yeah, I have my, if you look at on my phone,
Yeah?
I have the alarm set to go off at 8:30, let's see, where are we at? 8:30, 10:30, 12:30, 1 o'clock to wake me up so I don't miss class. And then 3:15, 6:30, and 3:15, 6:30, and 8:30.
Ooh, so you're on 2 hour intervals.
2 hour intervals.
I'm on 1 hour intervals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing 1 hour, and so
I'm on 2.
basically between every class.
Okay.
Because we were both teachers, so between every class, and that's my cue. I carry stuff. So what I do, I have a salad for breakfast. Jim has something sensible for breakfast too. I mentioned, right?
Yeah. This morning I had a bowl of oatmeal with some raisins, and That's it.
Okay, did you put any sugar in there?
No.
No sweetener.
No, I don't do sugar.
You don't do, neither do I. That's a big, I was expecting Jim to say that, because neither of us do. For the most refined sugar, forget it, right?
I do use cinnamon from time to time, and the cinnamon kind of needs sugar, but
I thought cinnamon was your girlfriend in high school, the dancer.
the pole dancer.
The pole dancer, yes, cinnamon.
So I do the, instead, if I'm using cinnamon powder,
Yeah,
obviously you're going to need sugar to sweeten it up because it's just cinnamon, right?
Right.
So what I do is I'll put like a teaspoon or two of apple juice into it, and the sugar from the apple juice.
Or apple drink?
Apple drink. It's green.
So that sweetens it up a little bit.
Right.
Just to counter the cinnamon, right? Okay.
Right.
So for me, I have no taste buds. So for me, the taste doesn't matter. Sugar is basically out of my diet. I don't even use honey anymore. And I'm just...
Yeah, I will use honey.
I'm a barbarian. I wouldn't recommend going as extreme as me, because basically what happens is if you take that sugar in like that, tell them what happens when you bring in sugar into your system.
Well, when you're bringing sugar into your system, most people can regulate it.